Greetings! This is Grass Cat, and today we're taking a look at Shadow Hound, the level 40 monolith boss in the Manibus scenario. We'll start off here on my private server to take a look and examine the moveset of the boss. Then we'll move over to a live server so we can take a look at some suggested gear and see how an actual fight would look like against him. Now, Shadow Hound is found in Chalk Peak, sort of right smack dab in the center on the monolith here. General recommended way to get here is to unlock this monolith here, which is fairly easy to get to from gliding down from this road up here. And without any further ado, let's get into the boss fight and take a look at his moveset. Now, as a reminder, I am on a private server, which means I will have invulnerability turned on, so that way I can actually talk during the boss fight and not die. So there he is. I would not recommend trying to fight him from here, partially because it's impossible. The game will teleport you into his arena. Rather, you will want to walk into the arena and close in fairly close to the Shadow Hound before you start attacking. I'm going to go ahead and start the fight a little bit early. Normally, I would close a little bit more before attacking. Now let's take a look at his moves. He will always do that little jump and then cycle through the moves. He will always face you. So he's got that sort of little hop where he does the spits. He has a charge attack. Oh, no, he's going to do the spit again. He's got this little muck thing where he'll come up on you and hit you like that. That's his little laser beam charge. That actually has pretty good range. He's got that charging slash attack. And he did it right at the start, but I am trying to get him to do his charge attack one more time. There's a jump and spit. And those will hurt, by the way, if they hit you. And there's no real rhyme or reason to the order in which he does these attacks. I've had him do the charge against me multiple times in a row. I've had him do the spits attack multiple times in a row. It's just really random. Well, if he does the charge... Nope, that's just the regular spit. Alright, well, he'll eventually charge. While we're waiting on that, let's advance the fight. Now, for the first phase of the fight, he will not have a weak spot. Nowhere on here is there a weak spot on him. So it doesn't really matter where you hit, just hit someplace. And since I don't want to zoom past the phase, I am going to use regular weapons. Now, once you take out the first bar, there we go. Yeah, come on. There we go. He'll start doing that cough, and the shell will come off his face, and now his face is a weak point. Yes, I'm now getting the weak point damage on him. There we go. There's the charge. That thing is almost impossible to predict. And I'll go into actual strategies for fighting him when we switch over to the live server. The next phase that we need to worry about is after you've taken off 2 bars, you'll get this message: remove the shoulder growths. You want to do this as quickly as possible. Also, these little annoying things will pop up. You will also want to get rid of them because they will constantly fire on you. And then once you get rid of those 2 growths, he is going to... No. Well, he also does that now. There we go. He'll do that. Notice his health bar now has a shield bar. If you deplete that shield bar, you will stun him. But if you don't, he'll do that slam attack. Now remember, I have invulnerability on. I can't get hurt. That will down you. If you get hit with that attack, you will be down. And from here, it's just more of the same. Except for that new attack. Forgot about that one. He will do that little gravity attack and then a slam and explode. If you are far enough away, you can avoid damage from that, but if you are too close without any movement buffs, you will not evade it. Once you take off another 2 bars of health, there we go. You'll get another message to remove the shoulders. He'll generate a bunch more of the little annoying shooty orbs, which again, I strongly recommend you take down post-haste. And you'll want to immediately focus on getting those shoulder things knocked off. And it's because even if you don't, he will still go into that spinny attack, and it's even harder to knock him out of it. There he goes. And to show what the stun looks like, if you deplete the shield, he will fall down, stunned, and thrash around on the ground. And from here, it's just business as usual. Continue firing on him. He is out of tricks at this point. Now, one quick thing before I leave this fight, because I will not be using these in the real attempt. You do have these little teleporter doors here, which you can go through and teleport you to the other side of the map. In theory, this is to help you avoid things like his lasers and his charge attack. So like, there we go, he's charging. I'm right by the door, so I can walk through and teleport and avoid it. The problem is that he likes charging and getting in close. Now he's way too close. I can't use the door to dodge. And if he does that charge before I'm ready, you're not going to be able to get through the door in time. Honestly, the doors are almost completely useless in the fight. I would not bother using them. That is enough out of you, sir. So now that we have... Oh yeah, and the deviation you will get a guaranteed drop of a level 1 Lone Wolf upon killing the Shadow Hound, which is a pretty decent combat deviant. And now that we've taken a look at his moveset, let's hop over to the live servers and take a look at some suggested gear and what an actual fight against him looks like. And now that we're over on the live server with Fescue Cat, let's take a look at some gear that you might possibly want to use for the Shadow Hound fight. As per usual, I'm doing this with fairly low tier stuff to illustrate the point that for the baseline bosses, you do not need to spend a bunch of time grinding to get perfect gear to be able to do this. So I have a tier 4 critical pulse, which I largely won't be using for the fight, and I have a tier 4 KVD that's been renamed for reasons. As far as my gear goes, I've got a fairly basic set of 3 pieces of agent gear and then 3 pieces of raid gear. And then a melee weapon that I'll be completely ignoring because you don't want to use melee on the Shadow Hound. Speaking from experience on that one. Just trust me on that. As far as the combat deviant that I'm going to be using Festering Gel, partially because that is a guaranteed drop. You notice he is the guaranteed level 1 drop that you get from the Ravenous Hunter. Also because without movement skills, there is a certain attack that I need to be able to block. Otherwise, I'll be taking too much damage. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get over to the Shadow Hound fight. Okay, now that we're loaded in, let's go ahead and get to it. As always, I strongly recommend you watch the cutscenes because they are delightfully creepy. But we will be skipping them for now. Make sure that I am reloaded because I am not. Now, for strategies for actually fighting him, stick close. That might seem like a little bit of an oxymoron given how many attacks he has, but it actually generally tends to work out a lot better if you stay close to him, because it's actually a lot easier to dodge his attacks if you're constantly circle strafing. So I'm just going to keep circle strafing him. There we go. We're now on the first phase. He's going to do his little choking animation. And that's the one that I need my little buddy for here. Because since I am sticking close, there is absolutely no way that I can dodge that particular burst of damage. And even sticking close, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get rid of everything. Now, as soon as I break that other one, I am reloading, and I am going to wait for that. Because like I said, that will down you. It does not matter how much health you have. It doesn't matter what deviation you have. In the ground, on the air, that is taking you down. So I'm trying to stick reasonably close and just constantly circle strafing him. Didn't quite get far enough ahead there. And I would recommend always healing as soon as you take damage, because if you are at level with your gear, he can inflict, like there, it's like single sequence of attacks, and I just took half health. There we go. Shoulders. Not the best time to reload. Reload, so I'm ready for the jump. There we go. I must not have gotten a shoulder. Yep. That is why you need to get all the shoulders, because boom, there we go, down I go. Yep, I was missing a shoulder. I thought I got that one. Oh well, good demonstration of what happens if you do not get all of those shoulders nodes off as soon as possible. But he's not going to do that again, so I am relatively safe. Yep. Didn't pick up on that charge in time. Again, as soon as you take damage, you should heal. Because the amount of damage this guy can output is alarming. Like that. And there we go, Shadow Hound down with, admittedly, not the greatest of equipment. Again, keep in mind, I have no mods installed on any of my gear, which means I have significantly less attack power than what you should at this point, because by the time you reach Shadow Hound, you absolutely should have a fairly decent selection of mods to put into your gear. And that does it for the guide to the normal version of Shadow Hound. Hopefully this helped you out. If you found this video useful, a thumbs up would be appreciated. And, well, if you didn't find it useful, the thumbs down button is right next to it. Until next time.